Good day everyone, my name is Florine Bijumabuk. So for today, me and Ms. Martes will discuss about scoring rubrics. So first, what is scoring rubrics? It is a coherent set of criteria for students' work that includes descriptions of levels of performance on the criteria. So the main purpose of rubrics is to assess performance made evident in process and product. It can serve as a scoring guide that seeks to evaluate students' performance in many different tasks based on a full range of criteria rather than a single numerical score. The objective test can be scored by simply counting the correct answer, but in the same test, a student's product and student's performances can be scored the way objective tests are scored. So product and performances can be scored reliably only with the use of scoring rubrics. So rubrics have two major parts. It is a coherent set of criteria and descriptions of levels of performance for this criteria. The genius of rubrics is that they are descriptive and not evaluative. Of course, rubrics can be used to evaluate, but the operating principles is you match the performance to the descriptions rather than judge it. Thus, rubrics are good or bad as the criteria selected and the descriptions of levels of performance under each. Effective rubrics have appropriate criteria and well-written descriptions of performances. So, how to create and use rubrics? There are two types, the analytic and holistic. In analytic rubric, each criterion is evaluated separately. And holistic rubric is all criteria are evaluated simultaneously. An analytic rubrics is good for formative assessment. It is also adaptable to summative assessment because if you need an overall score for grading, you can combine the scores. In holistic rubric, scoring is faster than with analytic. It is good for summative assessment also. So we have an holistic and analytic advantage and disadvantages. So holistic rubrics provide a single score based on the overall impression of students' performance on a task. When analytic rubrics provide specific feedback along several dimensions. So the advantage of holistic is quick scoring, provide overview of students' achievements. And disadvantage of holistic is does not provide detailed information. So may be difficult to provide one's overall score. So the advantage of analytic score is more detailed feedback, scoring more consistent across students and graders. So their disadvantage is time consuming.
We have here example of analytic rubric for creativity. So we have very creative, ordinary or routine, and imitative. So the first is depth and quality of ideas. So in very creative, ideas represent a starting variety of important concepts from different contexts or discipline. In creative, ideas represent important concepts from different contexts or discipline. In ordinary or routine is ideas represent important concepts from the same or similar context or discipline. So, in imitative, ideas do not represent important concepts. So, the next is variety of sources. In very creative, a created product draws in a wide-ranging variety of sources, including different texts, media, resource, persons, and or personal experience. In creative product draws in a variety of sources, including different texts, media, resource, persons, and or personal experience. In ordinary or routine is created product draws in a limited set of source and media. In imitative, a created product draws in only one source and or sources are not trustworthy or appropriate. The next one is organization and combination of ideas. In very creative, ideas are combined in original and surprising ways to solve a problem, address an issue, or make something new. In creative, ideas are combined in original ways to solve a problem, address an issue, or make something new. In ordinary or routine is ideas are combined in ways that are derived from thinking of others. And imitative is ideas are copied or restated from the sources consulted. So next is originality and contribution. So the very creative, a created product is interesting, new, and or helpful, making an original contribution that includes identifying a previously unknown problem, issue, or purpose. In creative, a created product is interesting, new, and or helpful, making an original contribution for its intended purpose and solving a problem or addressing an issue. In ordinary or routine, is created product serve its intended purpose or solving a problem or addressing an issue. In imitative, a created product does not serve its intended purpose.
So also we have an example of holistic rubric for creativity. The first is very creative. Ideas represent a starting variety of important concepts from different contexts or disciplines. Created product draws on a wide-ranging variety of sources, including different text media, resource person, and or personal experience. So ideas are combined in original and surprising ways to solve a problem, address an issue, or make something new. Created product is interesting, new, and or helpful, making an original contribution that includes identifying a previously unknown problem, issue, or purpose. Next one is a creative. So ideas represent a starting variety of important concepts from different contexts or discipline. Created product draws on a wide-ranging variety of sources, including different text media, resource person, and or personal experience. So ideas are combined in original and surprising ways to solve a problem, address an issue, or making something new. Created product is interesting, new, and or helpful, making an original contribution for its intended purpose or solving problem or addressing an issue. So next one is an ordinary or routine. So ideas represent from the same or similar context or disciplines. Created product draws on intended purpose or is solving problem or addressing an issue. So lastly is imitative. Imitative is also ideas do not represent important concept. Created product draws on only one source and or sources are not trustworthy or appropriate. So ideas are copied or restated purpose and solving a problem or addressing an issue.
All of scoring rubrics. So, first is remembering. So, recalls content and details. So, recalls some content and details but not always. Recalls most content and details accurately. Recalls all significant and details accurately. Next is identifies classification principles, methodologies, and theories. So, identify some classifications, principles, methodologies, and theories. Identifies most classification principles, methodologies, and theories. Identifies significant classifications, principles, methodologies, and theories. Next is restates main ideas, concepts, and principles. So restate main ideas, concepts, and principles with difficulty, and restate main ideas, concepts, and principles with minimal assistance. And restate main ideas, concepts, and principles clearly and accurately. Number 2 is understanding. So in understanding, explains ideas, concepts, and principles. So explain ideas, concepts, and principles with limited accuracy and irrelevant examples. Explain ideas, concepts, and principles with some accuracy and relevant examples. Explain ideas, concepts, and principles with accuracy and relevant examples. Next is contextualize ideas, concepts, and principles. So, contextualizes ideas, concepts, and principles with difficulty. Contextualize ideas, concepts, and principles with difficulty. Same. So, contextualize ideas, concepts, and principles with ease. Next is demonstrates awareness. So demonstrates minimal awareness of the depth and breadth of one's knowledge. Demonstrates some awareness of depth and breadth of one's knowledge, and demonstrate a clear awareness of the depth and breadth of one's knowledge. The last is anticipates consequences. So anticipates consequences of principles and concept with little accuracy. And anticipates consequences of principles and concept with one accuracy. Anticipates consequences of principles and concept with accuracy. So the last part of my assigned topic. So number 3 is applying. Applies knowledge. Applies knowledge with little consistency or accuracy. Applies knowledge with some degree of consistency or accuracy. Applies knowledge with consistency or accuracy. Next is seek alternative solution. Seek alternative solution or a problem any with assistance. Seek alternative solutions for a problem with occasional assistance. Seek alternative solution for a problem independently. Next is, or the last is, applies procedures and concept. So applies procedures and concept with familiar task with limited accuracy but not to unfamiliar task. Applies procedures and concept to familiar task but shows a difficulty with unfamiliar task. Applies procedures and concept both familiar and unfamiliar tasks.